Hello! Welcome! So, I have some troubling news, unfortunately. I'm afraid the channel has been terminated. The YouTube channel that I had since, I want to say, what was it, 2015, 2016? Yeah, it's gone now. It's gone. You might be asking what happened. Well, I mean, if you've been keeping up with the streams, if you've been watching, you will know that we've been having a lot of trouble with community guidelines strikes. What does that mean? Effectively, our channel continuously got struck because of the things that we said. They kept nabbing us with hate speech. Oh, the channel, by the way, being Ogresaurus Shrex. Gone forever, I'm afraid. But, you know, these things happen. I intend on having the channel return at some point. Or at least a channel.
Time to die. What was that? You're as good as dead.
Guess I forgot to install friendly fire. Anyway, the channel is gone. Ogresaurus Shrex is no more. We were struck down due to hate speech violations. Now, what exactly is a hate speech violation? I don't know. I do not know, because YouTube does not do a very good job explaining to you what is a hate speech violation? What constitutes a hate speech violation? I really couldn't tell you. Now, obviously, there are some charged words that you can use, right? Like, the gay slur, or obviously the N-word. But I also think certain elements, like telling somebody to unalive themselves, right? That's the common joke everybody makes nowadays, right? Is that somebody YouTubed themselves, or, you know, committed Sudoku in Minecraft, you know? Like, they have to weasel around constantly now, just to avoid getting struck, because they do take that very seriously. Right, some heated gamer moment, you know, the one that happens all the time. Yeah, that's what'll get you struck. That'll get you removed from YouTube. It is 2023. I started that channel in 2015, 2016, right? 8 years gone. Now, to be fair, we hadn't really had a whole lot of growth in 8 years. Which also kind of raises the question. Why? Why are we getting struck? We're not some big YouTube channel. Like, I literally checked maybe 2 days ago, right? What's the highest, you know, viewed thing that we have on the channel? And, it was, I'm pretty sure it was an Elder Scrolls video. It was one of my Elder Scrolls videos for Skyrim, specifically, and it had like maybe 3,000 views, something like that. That's a lot, but like, let's be fair, a lot of those views are probably not real, right? Like, no one's really watching the content. In fact, nobody really started watching the content up until recently, when I was just dumping full Twitch VOD streams onto the channel, because YouTube took away the ability to save as new video in the YouTube editor, which I used to reliably make new episodes of content, because I'm doing this as cheaply as physically possible. But, yeah, it's gone. All that's gone. I cannot stress enough how heartbreaking that is. Like, I kind of knew it was coming at some point, right? Like, when we started getting struck for old videos, I could tell something was gonna happen. Something was gonna break somewhere. And there's honestly so much, like I said, 8 years worth of content on the channel. There's no telling what they're gonna flag as hate speech. There is no telling. There's no way of knowing. So, what ended up happening was, because I got hit with strikes a lot, in the past, like the month of June and July, I got hit with a lot of strikes. And I was kind of shocked. I was like, I'm surprised the channel isn't just immediately taken down. Because it's supposed to be a 1-2-3 system, right? I already had my warning strike. You never get the warning strike ever again. So I had my warning strike in like 2019 or something. And then after that, I never really got a strike. Up until, like, I want to say at some point last year, I might have gotten another strike for some... I think it was when we were talking about Kanye. Yeah. It was when we were talking about Kanye, when Kanye went nuts, and he started saying all that anti-Jewish stuff. Literally just repeating the words that Kanye said sarcastically. Or even just repeating the things Kanye said was enough to get a strike. And it's like, okay, that's wild. Why am I getting the strike, but the people that actively uploaded the content where he said those things isn't there? You know what I mean? Like, what's up with that? Why is that the case? I don't know. I genuinely do not know. All I know is that they struck me. Not once, but twice during that period. And that left me with the 2 strikes. And I got very worried at that point, because I'm like, okay, 2 strikes is bad. But all I had to do was ride it out until September, and one of those strikes would disappear. Now, unfortunately, that is not how it transpired. It did not all work out that way. The game crashed. Knew that would happen at some point. 7 minutes with a Skyrim crash. But anyway, I knew that would happen at some point, right? I knew we would get another strike. Because during that 2-week period, right, where I wasn't allowed to upload anything, they kind of stopped striking me. Like, for the first week, yeah, they were striking me, right? They struck me like 3 times within that first week. It was actually kind of crazy. I don't really know why. But they got me for, like, another Call of Duty video, and I was like, uh-oh, that's the 3rd strike, though. But they didn't count it. And I assumed it was because it was so close in proximity to the last strike that was like a failsafe to prevent YouTube from just outright terminating a channel. And then I got another strike on a Red Dead video. And then another strike again on that same Red Dead video, except it was the unlisted full stream version. And I was like, okay, so they're even taking down my privated videos. Now, to be fair, it's unlisted, but, like, you can't watch that. I mean, I guess YouTube can, but any regular person can't, because I've never posted the URL link anywhere, and it's not in any playlists. So they struck that anyway, because it contained the same content that the previous video had. But that's gone now. And I should have known. I shouldn't have uploaded anything, honestly. Because now we're at a point where we have no content at all. We have no channel. It is gone. It is all gone. And there's not really a whole lot we can do about that. You know? It is what it is. You know, 8 years of content wiped away. Like, yeah, it sucks. But I kind of want to take it as a means to start over. A way to start again. You know? Like, my new plan is basically going to be I'm gonna have 2 channels. One for Elder Scrolls, like serious Elder Scrolls playthrough related stuff, or just general playthrough related stuff. Right? Things like the Fallout series, or, you know, any of the Elder Scrolls Online content, any of the Skyrim content, Starfield even. Oh, jeez. All of that stuff, I want that to be on this, well, I say this, I want it to be on a separate channel that I have already called Old Scrolls. That will be my serious playthrough channel. And then we have what will probably just be Ogresaurus Shrex 2, or Oshrekadongus Mex, whatever I'm gonna call it, right? Because I don't even know if I'm allowed to have the same name in that regard. I don't think I am. I don't think I'm allowed to make that same channel again. I would have to make another one. I'd have to do a completely separate input. And, you know, that is unfortunate. Like, like I said, I can't stress enough how disappointing it is watching it disappear. Overnight, even. That thing disappeared overnight. It was at 1:51 in the morning they struck it down. The only reason I found out about it, because when I woke up today at 6 a.m., I, you know, went on YouTube, because I'm just gonna, you know, eat my breakfast and watch some YouTube, you know what I mean? Let's see, you know, I kind of feel like watching a long-form video essay. And I go to turn it on, and it says, oh, something's wrong. We can't find a user for this. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, no, they didn't. And they got me. They got me for, I think it was a Modern Warfare 2 stream from December. I'm like, of course. Of course it was. Because what else is it gonna be, aside from Modern Warfare? The one game that I play that gives me more heated gamer moments than anything. And you know what? I'm glad I'm not playing it anymore. Because it was making me very mad. It was making me very angry. And believe it or not, right, like, that anger carried over into a real life, where it's like I would just get, like, so inscrutably mad at things, where it's like, bro, chill. Like, I need to relax, because Call of Duty's got me so heated that that's just my natural state of mind. It made me so pessimistic that I was just naturally mad at everything, and I just expected the least out of everything. That's how bad Modern Warfare 2 was. And that's why I'm not going to play it. And I'm probably not going to play Modern Warfare 3. But that's a big if. You know, there's always the chance that it's good. But we'll see. We'll see how the beta goes. But regardless, right? Like, that game is honestly single-handedly responsible for destroying my channel. Because most other videos I had almost never got a strike. Right, like, there were a couple of, like, some of the NHL videos were pretty iffy. Some of those got, like, I think 1 or 2 of them got struck as well, during that 1-week period where they were just taking down content. But mostly, it was Call of Duty. And oddly enough, that one Red Dead video, and I'm assuming that has to do with something that Alex said at some point. Because there's no way we said anything that was too terrible in Red Dead. But, whatever. But yeah, all the Elder Scrolls content, that was all safe, that was all fine. So really, it made me wonder, like, what is it really? Like, what is the hate speech? And I do think it's telling people to unalive themselves. It's probably the excessive use of the F word, right? The gay slur. And, of course, Marines' occasional use of the N word. Right, the slip-ups that I don't catch. And a lot of that does come down to, like, if I'm gonna do YouTube seriously, right? Like if I'm actually gonna do YouTube, I need to step up my game. If I'm gonna do YouTube at all, I need to get a proper PC. I need to get a proper capture card, right? I gotta stop relying on Twitch, because Twitch also does similar things that I don't like muting my audio, or, you know, there has been one occasion where Twitch was like, you can't air this. And I don't even remember what it was for. It wasn't for anything serious as far as I could tell. But, you know, mostly it's because Twitch is a streamed video. And the streamed video doesn't really bode too well for actual video quality. Right? Like if I'm gonna do YouTube, I want my video quality to be significantly improved. I want it to look good. Because as it stands, YouTube really doesn't, Sorry, I got distracted by that. That was weird. As it stands, Twitch doesn't really provide me the best video quality, mostly because that comes down to bitrate and such things. But if I'm gonna do YouTube seriously, right? Like if I'm gonna do the gaming stuff, right? That's not even saying like if I'm gonna do YouTube seriously. If I'm gonna get a PC and this and that, I might do more things than just the gaming stuff. You know what I mean? I might invest more of my time. That's also the other problem, is that it's a big time investment. If I'm gonna do all of that stuff, I need to be serious about it. And I don't know that I can do that. You know what I mean? That's a lot of time. That's also a lot of money, right? Like, I'd have to buy a proper mic, I'd have to buy a proper PC, build a proper PC that can handle all of the video editing and the gaming that I'd potentially be doing, because that's another thing. If I'm gonna be doing, you know, like a proper PC, Skyrim, right, would be then a PC game for me. I'd be playing that on the PC with PC mods and make the game look as good as I'd want it to look. Play as well as I'd like it to play. And have all the DLC mods and the such that I'd actually want. And who knows, maybe even make mods of my own. But that's the thing, right? Like, that's such a big commitment to make that I don't know that I'd be able to actually pull that off. Like, I know eventually, right, a PC has always been the end goal. And I could probably afford it. I think I could comfortably afford it, really. But it does come down to time, right? I have a full-time job, and sometimes that full-time job really means full-time, as in all of your time, right? The entire day spent working. Which means I don't really have time to edit videos, or hell, even record videos, right? I don't have the energy to sit down and play a game. That's how rough things are, because the work I do is very physically taxing. And even then, like, when I am at home, I just don't want to do anything. And you can call that depression, you can call it lack of motivation, whatever. I'm sure it's a lot of that. Who knows? But if I'm gonna do YouTube, I'm gonna try, at least, to do it right. So if anything, I like the gaming stuff, right? Since I said we're probably gonna have 2 channels, so Old Scrolls for all of the regular Elder Scrolls content, and maybe even just regular gameplay. Honestly, I might keep Old Scrolls for just Fallout story stuff, Starfield story stuff, Elder Scrolls story stuff. And I know that sucks, right? Then I would just be a Bethesda channel, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of true. But there are other games that I would want to play. Right? Like, if the Witcher remake ever happens, I would love to play the Witcher remake, Witcher 2 and Witcher 3. That'd be great. I'd love to do that. If, Dragon's Dogma 2, that's another one. You know, Avowed. There's so many, single-player story games coming out now that I think we could definitely make, like, a sustainable channel out of it, for sure. But as I was saying, right, the regular gaming stuff, the multiplayer stuff, me and the boys, we're probably not allowed to call ourselves what we used to call ourselves, right? That's probably another thing that YouTube has enlisted as a big no-no word. You're not allowed to say that. That's hate speech. That's somebody's, like, yeah. Probably not allowed to say that, even as a joke. So that's one of those ones where we're probably not allowed to call ourselves that. So I won't even say it. But me and the boys, right? Marine, Ed, Jason, formerly Alex, rest in peace. You know, like, that stuff would stay on the Ogresaurus Shrex 2, Oshrekadongus, Boogaloo, whatever channel. That stuff would stay on there. If I'm gonna start doing YouTube again initially, it'll probably be most of that stuff, frankly. It'll probably just be Twitch stuff still, until I can eventually figure out what it is that I'm going to be doing with this channel. I mean, not this channel, Old Scrolls, right? Because right now I'm still doing this video on Twitch, because that's the only means I have to make a video and upload. Outside of just doing it on my phone, I guess. But I'm not going to do that either. But it's just rough, man. It's just rough, because there's so much like, to put things into perspective, right? For Skyrim, there was... I recorded an entire playthrough of Helgen Reborn. You might be saying, oh, but, whatever we're gonna call you now, Helgen Reborn isn't on the consoles. You're right, it isn't. But I grabbed it anyway. Helgen Reborn was available on the console illegally, very briefly. Or I say illegally, yeah, the mod was uploaded without permissions. Despite the fact that the mod works perfectly fine. But the mod was uploaded without permissions, therefore, quote-unquote, illegally. I'm assuming no real laws were broken outside of, like, some copyright infringement thing. But yeah, it was uploaded without perms, and that made people very unhappy. But I grabbed it anyway on my Xbox One console. So that mod is still on my Xbox One console, and
these raid our town every year.
And I recorded it fully, like the full playthrough and everything. And
Alright, that's fine.
Alright, that's crash number 2. That's pretty funny though, I must say. But I spent a lot of time fighting dragons, having the game crash and whatnot. And it made it... And it was also just rough to look at, especially after playing on this and seeing how much better the game looks, and then going back to the Xbox One, I'm like, oh man, this is rough. But if I go to PC, it won't matter. But it sucks, because I already went and recorded that whole thing. And it's like, that just sucks, you know? That does just suck. We also have the entirety of Elder Scrolls Online Somerset. I played through that whole thing, and it is gone now. I played through all of Murkmire, and it is gone now. And that sucks. Like, and not just that, but all of my original playthroughs, right? The Skyrim playthrough is gone. Now, to be fair, that was a mess, and I wanted to redo it anyway. But the Skyrim playthrough is gone. The Elder Scrolls Online playthrough is gone, and that also started messy, right? It started in Morrowind, but really it started in Gold Coast because I needed the relevant information. But all of that is gone. It's all gone. And that sucks, you know? That just sucks. I don't know, I guess it's all just kind of hitting me now that 8 years of content is gone, you know? All the fun times we had on PUBG, gone. All of the NHL videos.
I'm eager to prove my skills today.
Gone. All of the Battlefield videos. Gone. Even the... oh, dude, fuck me. Even the live off-stream videos, right? The Xbox clips. Gone. All of that is gone. The Halo 5 clips, gone. Any of, like, the few Master Chief streams. All of the Halo 5 stuff we did, gone. Halo Infinite, gone. You know, like, fuck me, dude. It's all gone. It's all gone. There's nothing left.
It will be a good day. I can feel it in my gut.
Nothing left. And I think that is, like, that is the biggest tragedy of it all. That despite everything, right, YouTube won at the end of the day. And I should have known better. I should have just not uploaded anything to the channel until September. Because YouTube basically seemed to see that, oh, he stopped moving, I guess he's dead, and then moved on. But the second I uploaded like 6 videos, right, when my 2-week ban period was over, I was like, okay, let me upload my 6 videos. And it got us because of that. Because I decided, you know, I want to put some stuff out. It nabbed us. It's a shame, too. Because we were making progress, you know? People were actually watching the videos that I was putting out. Because they were, to be fair, they were big, long VODs. But people were watching that content. And now nobody's watching that content. It's also annoying, mind you, that it completely wiped out the whole thing. Like, the account is gone. The account is terminated. Which means that everything I had attached to that account is also terminated. So, it's one thing if it's the channel, okay, whatever. It was the account. The whole account
Hand over your valuables,
was terminated.
or I'll gut you like a fish. No, I guess not. Well, get out of here before I change my mind.
And all of my subs gone, right? Like, my subscribers obviously gone, but I mean my subscriptions. My subscriptions are gone. My music is gone. The 2 playlists I had on YouTube Music of basically 2,000 songs that I collected over the years. Gone. And it's like, man, I sure hope I'll remember what they were fucking called. Like, that's honestly pissing me off more than anything. That my YouTube Music got wiped. That's annoying. Because my playlists are gone. And I have to rebuild them both from scratch. But you know what? That's also like a blessing in disguise too, because it means that I can make it so that I have the 2 playlists, and then I also have 1 combined playlist. But it's just so unfortunate. All of my liked videos gone. In fact, the only time you will probably ever see my old channel present anywhere would be in, like, this is gonna be a weird pull, but there are 2 channels that I follow that I actively comment a lot on in the streams, or like occasionally in the streams, and that would be EFAP and Patrician TV. And that's probably it. Those will be the last vestige of the channel.
You're gonna have to hand over, say, 200 gold if you want to use our road. You know, now that I think of it, that sounds fair.
It's just so
Just
disappointing.
shove off before the others notice.
So disappointing, you know? I really wish things could have worked out in the end. Because we were snaking by for so long. And I guess we have been getting more ballsy with the things that we've been saying. Right? But I've been doing better with not saying that. But that's the other problem, is that you'd have to go through all of our content and just scrub it clean of any instances of me telling somebody to off themselves, or anything like that, you know? Like, you know how hard that's gonna be? You know how much time that's gonna take? You know how much time I have to give to something like that? Like, not a lot. Not a lot. But here we are, at the consequences of our actions, right? The channel is gone today because of me, right? Well, really because of YouTube, right? Like, come on, guys. What the hell? But because I wasn't careful enough. And that's why if I'm going to do this again, I'm going to be a lot more careful. I was already very careful with the Elder Scrolls videos, right? I was very careful with the Elder Scrolls videos. I did not curse in those. My one rule for playing a game like that is, if there is cursing in the game, then I will curse. If there is not cursing in the game,
or I'll gut you like a fish.
Then I'm not gonna curse.
Of course. I've seen you at the Flagon. My mistake. Good luck out there.
But, you know, as it stands right now, 2 channels is the plan. 2 channels is the plan. Old Scrolls for single-player content, just me playing through my stories. And then Ogresaurus Shrex 2, whatever the name's gonna be, Boogaloo. That'll be for multiplayer stuff. And we're gonna have to be careful with that multiplayer stuff. We're gonna have to be careful. Because if this stuff happens again, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be an issue. And like I said, if we're gonna do this stuff again, I'm gonna need a capture card. I'm gonna need a proper capture card, gonna need a proper PC in order to record this, you know, this gameplay here. will look a million times better if it's recorded on a proper capture card, through a proper PC, with a proper hard drive and a proper mic, you know? It's gonna be expensive, yeah. But, you know, those are prices I am willing to pay to make the content that I want to make, right? Because I do want to make this content. I want to make the story stuff. I want to have fun playing through my stories. You know, all those streams will be lost to time like tears in the rain. Because they will. They're gone forever. There's in fact only a handful of them that you can watch on the Ogresaurus Shrex Twitch. And oddly enough, most of them are recent. Most of the ones that you can watch are recent ones. Arguably some of the better content. There's also some Halo 5 content on there. But really, man, what a shame. Especially, like, everything that was in the swamp. All those juicy, good clips in the swamp, gone. Things like, you know, that shit's for the birds, right? That killed us. That shit killed us. That's gone forever. You know, the message from the viewers, or to the viewers from Alex, you know, that's gone. Never bet on green. That's gone. The secret history of BMS. That's gone. You know, like, that sucks. I guess that's just something I should have been doing. I should have just been highlighting every video on the Twitch channel, huh? That might have made things a bit more applicable, acceptable, you know, keeping backups of these things. But keeping backups of these crummy little videos, right? Like these crappy gameplay videos. Because it's something I've always said, is like the content I make on YouTube is some of the most low-effort, garbage content that you can come up with. It's literally just me playing the game. Like, that's not a whole lot of effort. Not a whole lot involved there. That's why, like, if I'm gonna do Elder Scrolls content, I want it to be, you know, better produced. If I'm gonna do the Elder Scrolls content, right, the way I want to do it, I could actually have the dialogue lines that I perform be better performed, right? I could have multiple takes, decide which take is the best one, and interject it in, rather than me just doing the line and it sounding terrible. You know, which happens a lot in those videos. Like, when I go back and watch some of those Elder Scrolls videos, I'm like, damn, dude, that was a terrible line read. You should probably do that again. Or it's the instance of...
No wonder our enemies fear the sight of an orc warrior.
It is an instance of... the burnout, right? Like, you can tell I've been streaming for hours, and my voice just sounds terrible, you know?
Why are we
like,
even
that
going
happens
to a
all the
wedding
time.
at this far-flung end of the Empire anyway?
I told
Premium. Game instantly crashed there, goodness. But yes, it's annoying. I have to rebuy YouTube Premium. I have to remake all of my playlists. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. That sucks. Oh, believe me. That sucks. But it is giving me that chance to rebuild. To rebrand certain things. And just kind of continue things as they were for the multiplayer stuff. Right? Because, like, at the end of the day, what I would ideally like to do for the multiplayer stuff is, because it's hard to say, because like one of the biggest inspirations for me multiplayer stuff wise is one, let's play OG let's play, let me put it that way. Let's play like 2010, 2011, 2012 let's play, when it was the golden age and the golden team, not whatever we have now. But they were my biggest inspiration for the multiplayer stuff, but realistically I knew I couldn't do any of the things they were doing, because you got to think about like all of the stuff they have involved in their creative process is like stuff that I just can't do. You know, they have things like multiple monitors and, actual multi-million-dollar corporation setups that pay them to do these things. I don't have that. So I'm like, okay, what's another inspiration I could take? And like, I watch things like Soviet Womble. I love his multiplayer, little compilation clips. I like that he has everything captioned and everything subtitled. I love that he has it, dangling above everyone's head so that you know who's talking and who's who. But I also know that those videos he makes take ages. Like, those videos he makes take a hell of a long time. And I feel like not enough people appreciate that, right? Like, those videos take him months to make. Like, literal months to make those videos. Those videos take a long time. I don't have that kind of time, especially, Like, we're talking, like, months. Months.
There's a freedom the roads give you that the stronghold does not.
I don't know, That's something I would like to do, but ultimately, I think what would probably end up happening is that I would just do the same thing I've been doing for those multiplayer streams, but just with probably with an intro and an outro. You know what I mean? I know that sounds very basic bitch of me. But it's true. That's probably what I would do. That's probably how I would do it. Because there isn't really a whole lot that I could do to change those multiplayer videos. Maybe I could censor stuff, maybe I could zoom in on certain things, certain funny moments. That's probably also something I would do. I would chop it to hell. And do zoom effects, emphasize certain things, slow motion here and there. I would put things where it would make sense, effectively.
Why is that?
And then you have the single-player stuff, where I wouldn't really do a whole lot of that. The single-player stuff would be same thing, intro, outro. More well-refined in terms of its storytelling. What were my biggest influences with the single-player content? It would have to be a guy called the Mad Bag Gamer, or as he went by towards the end of his channel's life, the Mad Guru. And also, Plague of Gripes. If you've ever seen Plague of Gripes' Dark Souls playthroughs, it's a lot like that. Where he just does a lot of standing around and talking about things. Not really a whole lot of actually playing the game. That's basically exactly how I play Elder Scrolls Online. That's exactly how I play this game, where after a big event occurs, I am literally just kind of... I'm literally just kind of standing around talking like I am now. But that is, those are my biggest influences And then when it comes to, like, the dialogue stuff, also, Zero Period Productions, fantastic. Fantastic Let's Player guy. He would also be up there for one of my bigger influences. Mostly because he basically has already done all of the things that I want to do. You know, in terms of story content and stuff. It's just, I wish I could play the things that he plays. And honestly, I can. I can play most of the things that he has played on this console right now if I really wanted to. And I might actually do that, you know, as a way to kick this, I keep saying this, as a way to kick Old Scrolls off, right, to just kind of get its foot in the door. I would probably do, like, individual playthroughs of each DLC, just so that I have an idea of what I'm dealing with. Right, like, I would do an individual playthrough of Falscar, I would do an individual playthrough of Beyond Reach, I would do an individual playthrough of, yeah, all of these things. All of these things that have been present at one point or another. Yo, holy crap! This is where Agamir lives. That's really cool. That's probably a cutting room floor edition, right? That would have to be. Oh, he can't just spawn out of nowhere. Like, every character in this game does, dude. Whatever. I think if I'm gonna do the single-player stuff, I would do it kind of like how Zero Period Productions does it, except I would do more line interjections, because he doesn't do that. His Let's Plays are actually fairly similar to how mine are, except his are very high quality, very high production. If you watch his modded playthroughs, those are very high quality, very high production. He's kind of taking things pretty seriously in those, whereas when he does Skyrim Saturday mods, or whatever it is he calls it, those videos are much more lax, there's less production value involved in them, and they remind me very much of the videos that I do, where I'm just playing the mod, or I'm playing through the thing. Except he doesn't view his character as a character, he views his character as himself, you know what I mean? Whereas I view my characters as the character, right? Like, this is the Dragonborn, you know? He's gonna have different perspectives from Jason. He's gonna have different perspectives from the other characters that follow him, even, if they want to show up. You know, like, there's different elements to all of this stuff. But, you know, like, I would say, if you've seen any of those videos, no one has, no one ever will now. But, you know, the Fallout video, right, I'm playing the character. The Elder Scrolls videos, I'm playing the characters, you know what I mean? And I tried to do it a little bit in Somerset, and it sounded awful. But, like, cause, you know, my character Benalt in the Elder Scrolls, one of my characters, Benalt, is very much a Witcher stand-in. He's supposed to be Geralt, and he's got that same kind of, like, grim, dark, raspy voice. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at making that voice, or at least I can't tell if I am. So that, you know, that kind of creates a bit of a problem for me, where it's like, man, I can't tell if my voice sounds bad. And also, the mic quality doesn't help and whatnot. And if I had, you know, the proper tools, I could interject the dialogue lines in, and I could have them sound perfectly fine. You know? I could do a better differentiation between Cedric's voice and Rom's voice. Benalt's voice obviously would sound appropriate. Or hell, even if I really needed to, I could have an AI read the voice lines for me. Right? For instances of like, oh, this is a female character. What are they gonna say? Like, I ain't gonna mimic that voice. So, you know, there are certain aspects to these tools that could be extremely helpful to me. But I would have to invest. And you know what, that's fine. Like I keep saying, that's fine. If it's something I want to do as like a hobby type of deal, then I think it's fine. I don't think there's really anything stopping me from doing it. I just need to do it. I just need to get over myself and do it. I need to make that investment. I gotta figure out how to build a PC. I gotta figure out where the hell I would put it in this small space that I have here. But there's things I can do. There's things I can figure out. There's things I'm gonna have to figure out if I want to do those things, you know? Like, that's just the nature of... It's just the nature of life. But, I feel now is a good time to ramble about it because, you know, the platform that I have been rambling on for years has been destroyed. And, you know, that's why we're here, to discuss the plan and the future of the channel that no longer exists. That future is gone. But my future on YouTube might look a little bit more like this, you know? It might look more like Skyrim, it might look more like Elder Scrolls, it might look more like generally bad Bethesda content. You know, because there isn't a sea of that already. And then on the other spectrum of it, you know, I think keeping the multiplayer game stuff and the single-player game stuff separate is generally a good idea. I think it is. Because it makes it, makes it easier to differentiate, and if one channel gets struck, then the other one should be fine, right? Because that's the other problem, is I would have to make a separate email, or like a whole nother thing for one of the other channels if I'm gonna do this properly, right? That way, if one channel slips up, right, and by one channel I mean when the multiplayer channel slips up, I can have something to fall back on in the form of the single-player channel. But, you know, I think if anything, we could probably do better next time, right? Because I've learned a lot from the past couple of months of YouTube, right? Because when I first started the channel, I was big on big, dumb, jokey titles that nobody can comprehend, right? Like, let's just completely butcher the name of the game. And it's like, that's funny, yes. Good luck getting any views that way. Nobody's gonna watch your content. Because nobody can find it. Nobody can feasibly type that into the search bar. That's why a lot of my videos had next to no views, and videos that were on the Swamp playlist or stuff like that, those things did have quite a few views. The bigger takeaways that I had from YouTube is that when I started uploading the streams, I was putting the proper names of the games up in its place. And that was actually making a significant difference. Like, those videos were actually getting views compared to my original videos that made very few views or next to no views. And then when I have things like the Jedi Fallen Order playthrough, that was another video that had like 2,000 views and stuff, and those were organic views. Like, people actually just watched that and then they never watched another video again. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that, you know, maybe it is a little boring, you know, just watching someone play the game, and it is. Right, when I'm so out of tune and out of touch with Star Wars that I can't even get that excited about the game, because let's be honest, not a whole lot really happens. It really does just come down to, like, those moments of, like, whoa, or wow, or whoa, cool, you know, consume product. That's really what it comes down to, and then there wasn't really a whole lot of substance for me to make of the game. I was just kind of absorbing the details that were given to me. And not that there's necessarily anything wrong with that. Like, that can also be, like, an entertaining form of entertainment as well, is just watching someone's, you know, reaction from playing the game, right? Seeing their immediate thoughts just play out through what they're saying, what they look like as well. But, you know, obviously I don't do face cam. I did face cam in the early days, back when I was fat. I no longer look like that, but still. Like I said, I feel like on this channel, I keep saying on this channel, on Old Scrolls, I would start with probably actually doing some Skyrim playthrough stuff. Just playing through the mods as first impressions. You know, like, this is what I think of it, this is what I can do with the story. And then when the time comes, actually going around to do the proper, fully edited, storied version of the content. And that's another thing I would actually want to do. That is another thing I would want to do at some point, is going through and figuring out how to film stuff in game too, you know, if that makes any sense.
I'll show you a real fight.
Figuring out how to properly frame things and film stuff so that I can have these instances look more cinematic, right? Or actually have you know, the party characters, right? Like all of these people could actually have them interact a bit more, right? And maybe that's another use of the AI is like, okay, can I make the AI sound like this person? And of course we get into ethical quandaries, and I do think it is very dubious. That's why I'm like, maybe I could, but it's also like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. You know, who knows? But I don't know. I keep saying I don't know because I really don't. I don't know what to do next. You know, like I have these basic ideas, but that's really all they are, is just basic ideas. They're not really fully fledged ones. I'm just grasping at straws because my channel's just been wiped off the face of existence, and I'm trying to figure out what to do next. How I can slowly start to rebuild. You know, I need to have content out there somewhere in order to actually gain somewhat of an audience. I figured the best way to do that for both channels would be to continue to upload content either off of the streams, or, you know, if I am going to do capture card content, the main reason I would want to do the capture card content is mostly just because it's more reliable than Twitch ever will be. But the future is definitely more well-produced content, at the very least. Yes, that takes more time. I understand that Old Scrolls will probably not perform nearly as well as Ogresaurus Shrex would, because Ogresaurus Shrex can just pump out streams, multiplayer streams, and make more views that way, whereas Old Scrolls would take time. You know, those videos would have to be edited, and eventually, you know, Ogresaurus Shrex would also have that going on, where you would have more properly edited videos and whatnot. Because that's kind of the big problem with editing and doing videos and all that, is you've got to scrape through all of the dead air and garbage and just, you know, waste of time stuff in order to actually get to the good chunks. Like, oh, is there something there that I can actually use? Is there something there I actually want? Those are the questions. But it is just a difficult thing to grapple with,
what we've
right?
managed to accomplish.
Yeah, thanks, Lydia. I was too, you know. I am proud that we made it to 50 subs. I'm proud that we had videos that actually breached that 1,000 view mark, well into the 3,000 view mark, you know? Like, that's crazy. But there was really only like 2 videos that did that, and then everything else was sub 1,000 and, you know, barely got off the ground. And we did zero marketing We didn't plug our channel anywhere. We didn't do anything with it. We're just kind of flying by the seat of the pants, hoping that YouTube would eventually pick up something and just kind of run with it. And you know, with a few videos it did, but the content never remained consistent, right? Like, because that's the thing with YouTube, is that it wants you to find a formula and stick with it until it works. Until it eventually bleeds out and dies, right? That's the big issue with YouTube right now, is that you've got to constantly evolve your content or be a big enough channel already, right? And touch on some hot button topic that everybody wants you to cover. Because I've seen this happen with so many channels, right? Like, I've seen, like, for instance, like that channel I referenced earlier, Mauler. Mauler was nothing. Mauler was literally nothing before The Last Jedi video happened, and then he skyrocketed into the million views category and is now, like, a relatively big name on YouTube, right? Patrician TV, same thing, right? He wasn't that big of a name until he actually made that big bold risk of putting out that like 8-hour long Oblivion video or whatever, and then everyone was like, oh, look at this guy's crazy, 8-hour long. But you know what, enough people say that, you know, that they say the bad publicity. Like, yeah, sure, some of those people will say that that's dumb and stupid, but you're still going around telling people about it, though, aren't you? You know what I mean? You still had his name in your mouth. And he went from, you know, averaging around like 20K, you know, or however many views he was getting before, and it shot up. It shot up significantly. Right, like, a lot of the channels I follow used to be just small-time channels, and now they're, like, huge. It's crazy. It really is crazy. But if they can get there and do that stuff, you know, eventually we can too. Eventually. Right, and if we do put our names out there more and more, that would be a big help, because it means that more eyes would end up on the channel, more people would actually be commenting. That's the other thing. I never, ever tell people to like and sub. I never tell people to comment, because I'm not going to tell you what to do. Right? Like, you're on YouTube. You should know already, right? I don't have to beat that into your head. Someone else already did. So, I don't feel the need to tell that to people. I also just don't feel comfortable telling people to do that, because I feel like I'm begging. And I don't think I need to do that. Right? And it's also, I'm here to make the content that I want to make. And if I'm making content that I want to make, then surely other people might also see that and would have that same opinion, right? Like, if people love watching Zero Period Productions, they would love watching my Skyrim videos, I'm sure. Right? If people love watching Let's Play, then they would love watching my multiplayer stuff, I'm sure. You know? Especially if I'm competent enough at certain games, right? Like, watching us play NHL, yes, it can be quite boring, because you're just watching hockey. Watching us absolutely blow people's backs out in NHL, yeah, that's hilarious. Watching me take 30 penalty minutes in one period, that's hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, just going above and beyond in certain ways. It is just a shame. It's also a shame, like, damn, all the Elder Scrolls Online event videos that I did, those are gone too. Ah, dude, that sucks. Kim Jong Undead. Kim Jong Undead is gone. The script for Kim Jong Undead, even though I can recall a lot of it, but the script for Kim Jong Undead is gone. Dude, that sucks. Man. Because now I'm just reminiscing about all of the past videos, you know, the memories that will soon fade, you know. It sucks. It's a shame. Fuck, man, I wish I could go back. I wish I could go back, but I also hate to say it, it was a necessary thing. Because I have two choices, right? Well, three choices, really. I could continue pursuing this YouTube stuff and try to get a little bit more serious about it, make it a bit more of a hobby, you know? Or more than just a hobby, like actually put some work into it. Or I could keep doing what I've been doing and produce low-effort, nothing content, and just kind of carry on as it is. Or I could just stop altogether. And I'm not sure which would be better for me. I feel like stopping altogether is a good idea, because then I have less to worry about. Stopping altogether might be a good idea because I have less to worry about, because there's no channel. No skin off my back, you know? I don't have to worry about 10 years from now, someone putting a tweet out, or whatever they call it now, and saying, oh, this guy used to make homophobic videos on YouTube, or some crap like that. I wouldn't have to worry about that. You know, that channel is gone. That channel is terminated. All those horrible things we said, yeah, clean slate. We don't have to worry about it. But at the same time, I do, like, the things that I really want to do is continue doing the Elder Scrolls stuff. Those are the things that make me happy. I enjoy going through those stories. There are games that I've wanted to play on the channel for a long time that I never got to do. Like, I'd love to play Fable and just really experience, like, is it as good as I remember it being? Can I bring that inner child back out, you know? Because I loved the Fable games, and I'd love to play the Fable games again before Fable 4, or whatever they're going to call it, comes out, you know? I'd love, with Elder Scrolls Online, this is a great opportunity for me to now just completely restart the story. You know, do it all over again from scratch. How did Benalt come about? How did Cedric come about? How did Rom come about? And just kind of play through the story that way. Where did their sidekick characters come into play? With Skyrim, it's a great time to restart that playthrough. Have it be a bit more organized, to make a bit more sense, rather than having it be whatever it was, where I would just cut characters out and do this and do that instead. Now I can actually have all of those characters present, rather than not have them. Or if I get the PC, you know, we could do all the Skyrim mods that I actually want to do and play them the way I actually want to play them. There's so much. There's so much potential awaiting in the future. I just need to get the tools I need in order to get to that point. That's what it really comes down to. Is getting that motivation, kicking this depression trench that I've been digging for myself, and actually getting out there and doing what I want to do, doing what I need to do. And that's what I gotta do. And I think the future of the channel really depends on if I can do that. Or the future of my career on YouTube really depends on whether or not I can do that. Do I want to do that? Do I want to commit to YouTube? Or do I want to pack it up and do something else? And I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But all I really can say is, rest in peace, Ogresaurus Shrex, you know? Rest in peace. You served us well. Gave us a lot of laughs through the years. Really. I do appreciate it, you know? It is a shame. I wish I could have done something to save it. But alas, these things happen. Oh well. But I hope he didn't bum you out, you know, too much. I hope that you can kind of gather some sense of hope for the future. Because, you know, because I do. In some way. I do have some hope. I do think that we can build better channels as a result of this. And I'm probably going to start as soon as I can. Definitely going to start as soon as I can. But until then, I'll see you all next time on whatever channel this happens to get uploaded to. Goodbye, everybody. Hopefully I'll see you again. Hopefully it's not the last time. But if it is, you know, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. If you are from the other channel, I appreciate it. You know, that means a lot. Genuinely. So, take care of yourselves, you know. Don't do anything too stupid like me.